Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is My Purpose in 10 parts. This is part 4, Turning Point. This is a great new venture that I go on. I gain resilience, emotional well-being, and a desire to really achieve more. So join me as we embark on this journey. So I decide to leave Spain, and I then caught a ferry from Mahón. So I travelled approximately 4 hours from Mahón over to Barcelona. So I venture around, well, I dock in at Barcelona, again nowhere to really stay, so I then come off the boat and I go down what's formerly known as La Ramblas. Now this is a massive road with loads of shops and everything, loads of history, absolutely fantastic. So I mooch around, basically I need to find some digs. So I stayed in a hostel for a few days, and I wanted more though, I wanted to see more. So I decided to get a train to Italy. So I boarded the train to Italy, and bear in mind I only had my 65-litre rucksack and a book which was given to me by Ramon, the Australian hotel owner. So this book was called Hotel Morgue. It was always sticks in my mind, and I remember resting my head on this particular book. I kid you not, the train journey, I couldn't have done it. I did it the most awkward way round ever. Now it took me 18 and a half hours, so I travelled through the night, through the great European countryside, down into the middle of Italy, but I actually went to Pisa. So I get off the train, go and see the Leaning Tower of Pisa, and absolutely brilliant. And I met with some other backpackers there. There was one girl, I can't remember her name, but she was South African, and she and two other people, we were going to a hostel, so we stayed yet in another hostel, and it was great. It was a really great time. We would travel around Italy together, so all three of us, and there was a French, one of the guys was French. This isn't the same guy as the French chef, this is somebody completely different. So we went down to Pompeii. Now this was a really interesting place, very, very sad, but very, very interesting at the same time, and the ruins are absolutely well kept, fantastic. And we went to board a coach to go up to Pompeii itself, right up to Mount Vesuvius, and the French guy had said something to the local Italians. Now I didn't speak the lingo, so I'm not sure, but what I do know, it wasn't very nice. So I got stung by singing it. It wasn't very nice what he said. So they the Italian guy and his mates started chasing us all with baseball bats, and we were like, oh my god, what's going on? You know, this is just crazy. So we're running, and I hid in one of these fossilized houses, you know, what was left of it anyway at the time. So Oh, they disappeared, so there was no trace of them. We bombed off the French guy because he was causing us too much aggro, to be honest with you. So then we went round all of the fossilised ruins. We saw what was at the time a pregnant lady. I think there was a bakery, fossilised dogs, etc. So it really was absolutely fantastic, you know. So yeah, it was a good time. So then we got on the train and decided to head to Rome, or they say Aroma. And that was, sorry, I'm walking through the fields here and I'm just stumbling around. And that was so interesting. We went to the Trevi fountains, and the architecture was just absolutely phenomenal. It really was a beautiful place. We went round various parts of Rome, and the best one was the Colosseum. Now this was back in 2001, so quite a long time ago now, but it was just absolutely beautiful, you know, just to reimagine what was what used to go on there, etc. It was just trying to put yourself in that time. So, but so much history in Italy. It really was absolutely fantastic. So then the trains in Italy are absolutely brilliant. I mean, they're on time for a start, so quite different to England. They're cheaper and they're cleaner, and they've got more character. You know, they've got wooden panelling. I mean, these are very old carriages, but they're so well kept. And you get buskers on there as well, and you'd get really what you'd appear to be a homeless person. Maybe it isn't, but you'd have a lady there, for example. She was all dressed in a long velvet dress, playing the violin. You know, it really was beautiful, and it's just completely different. The culture, the fashion, absolutely everything. So yeah, it really was an interesting time of my life going around Italy. So we went to Florence, so as they say, Firenze, and absolutely stunning. It really was stunning. You know, if you want history, architecture, I recommend that you go there 100%. But above all this, I was really regaining my purpose, my stability, my direction in life, having always had that direction of my uncle, and almost trying to live as somebody different. So this was a massive turning point for me, and the fun I had on the way was unbelievable. Such a car passing that. Yeah, so it really was a great time, and I was feeling happy. You know, I was fulfilling my life. So I'll try and get through this gate. Fulfilling my life and really uber focusing on not being like my father. So I was doing something. I had purpose, meaning, and that was a great feeling. So I toured around Italy for roughly about 3 weeks, staying in various locations, different hostels, etc. And I remember us basically sitting in a train station, and this was on the way back from Firenze, and we were a bit hard up for cash, so we basically stayed in a train station, and we were just busking away singing. Now, I can't sing for toffee, but we gave it a good go. We got a few quid anyway, well, not pounds, but you know what I mean. And we had missed the last train. So through busking, we'd missed the last train. So we slept in the toilets with the hand dryer on intermittently to keep us warm. So that really, really was a fun time. So anyway, we head back from Italy, and then bear in mind, sorry, so I basically left the other two and wished them farewell on their journeys. Now, I headed back to Barcelona, stayed there for another week. Now, Barcelona, if you haven't been, you must go. It really is a city full of character. Plenty of pickpockets as well, so you've got to be very, very careful. But in the daytime, it was normal, I suppose, you know, placid. All the shops were open. There wasn't, you know, many bad people around, etc. But come the night time, it really is a completely different place, and it's not one for the children anyway. So you're walking along the street and you'll get these ladies proposition you for you know, adult activity, and if you were naive enough to fall for it, so what happens is a lady will come and, you know, wants to make a fuss of you, and then behind you they have two people which are pickpocketers. So they, as you think your luck's in, basically you're being pickpocketed at the same time. So if you do go there, be very, very careful in the evenings, but it's well worth a visit. It really is. And there's plenty of things to do. You know, I went to a couple of peep shows back when Sticky Vicky was around, and my God, you know, you just research Sticky Vicky and what she used to do, and I saw that live, and wow, it was amazing. But not in a great way, but it was just like, wow, you know. But hey, you know, I'll let you draw your own conclusions on that. So I went back. So I got the boat again back to Mahón. So making my journey back to Spain. And I went back to the hotel. Obviously, it's the end of season now, so there's no hotel, there's no guests, so, you know, we're at the real low point of the season now. So then I decide to stay anyway, so I stayed, and it was a very different place come the autumn time. I didn't really want to head back to the UK. You know, I was running away from all bad memories and really finding my purpose, you know. So I stayed. I made friends with a few of the English locals, and there was a lady called Sarah, and she very kindly, she was a Scottish lady, so she very kindly let me stay in her villa. Now, she owned a fantastic villa which was in Calaron Porter, and it had an outdoor pool. Bearing in mind, she'd only known me for a very short time, and she trusted me to stay in her villa. Now, she had to go back to the UK at that point for some sort of business or something. I wasn't too sure. I didn't really pry. But she very kindly let me stay there rent-free for the rest of the winter season. You know, I had access to the pool, and the weather in Spain is nowhere near as bad as the weather here in the UK in the winter, and it was just lush. It really was. A little bit lonely, but I used to go out and, drink with the locals, etc. So, yeah, it was a really nice time. Then the next season came round again, ready for the busy bustle and hustle of Spanish life. And it was just great. So at this point, I'm thinking I don't ever really want to go back to the UK. So I decided to apply for my what's classed as a residence. So they call it La Residencia. So I started applying for my residence, but for some reason I didn't take it, and I can't remember why. I was nearly completing. I decided to go back to the UK. For some unknown reason, I must have been mad. So I came back, I flew back into Luton. My mum picked me up, and I remember my mum saying, "Oh, we've got him," like I was a fugitive or something. So then I've been out of the UK for a good year and a bit at this point. I miss my nan greatly, but I needed that time. So I went back to my nan's and then stayed with her for a while. Now her health started to decline, so I became a carer for my nan. At the time, both her sons wasn't talking to her. There's some family dispute. I don't really know all the ins and outs, and it's not really my place to speculate on it, but yeah, it was I kind of felt trapped again, in the nicest possible way. I love my nan to bits, but I felt a huge sense of gratitude for everything that she'd done for me over the years and tried to help shape and mould me. And I think it'd be really inhumane for anyone to turn their back on family, especially when you know that their health is starting to deteriorate. So yeah, it really was another turning point. Another chapter was emerging in my life. Now guys, I'm going to end it on there for part 4. Again, I'm very conscious about these videos being too long, but as always, if you could give us a like and subscribe, I'll be very, very grateful. I hope these stories are helping with you guys that are going through trauma, and you can sort of navigate your way through it. But if you are in a dark place, I'm really sorry to hear that, but always get in touch with somebody, always seek professional help, etc. If you want to message me for advice, you're quite welcome to. If these videos are enough to help you guide, then I'm really glad about that. But as always guys, this will be out on YouTube shortly, but see you on the next one.